Hi there, Hamish Conway here from Sell Global. Now, a lot of companies who come to us for help on Amazon, their content is one key area that needs work to help them grow and sell more. And that sell more piece is what people really want, right? They want to sell more units, have more revenue, ideally profitable revenue, and that's what they're after. Now, from a content specific point of view, which is what I'm going to focus on today, it's really maths and science, you could say, and then there's art. And we're going to look at the maths piece here that just shows you the small improvements across multiple SKUs compound up to make a big difference. Now, we had a session last week with some big brands actually, and one of the participants at the event said when he came into the role like not that long ago, and first month he just focused on the basics, like actually getting things looking nothing fancy, but just getting it working properly, keeping in stock, and looking at the priorities. And that alone just made a difference. It was a good reminder of how the basics make a difference across multiple SKUs to grow sales. Now, you might have a lot of SKUs, or you might not have many. You might have 10 or less. This here applies the same for you. But now I've got an example here of the maths, and there's three key input areas here. People want more sales, they want to sell more units, they're the outcomes, but the input areas that you can control and influence and want to measure and target sessions, if you're a third-party seller, or glance views. This is really traffic, eyeballs on your product listings. Then you've got the conversion rate, or unit session percentage as it's called as a third-party seller, which equals units sold, and then the average dollar sale equals sales. So that's really the formula. And if we use the example of 10,000 glance views sessions, 10% conversion rate. By the way, Amazon is around 10.5%, which is much higher than Shopify, for example, which will be average around 2. High buyer intent on Amazon. Units sold 1,000, average dollar sale $20. You might be higher, hopefully not too much lower than that. And $20,000 a month, okay? You could be higher, lower. Again, the maths is here just to keep things simple. So let's have a look. If we were to go, right, what can we do here to improve these input areas by just 5%? Just 5%. What would that maths look like? So imagine here, and I've got a list below that I'm going to go through of things, of tactics and strategies to improve it. For example, we improved the hero shots, or we had A+ content that showed other products there that would get the click-throughs. We had parent-child relationships there that showed more of your products, so people would experience buying from you, looking at either or with you versus either or with a competitor. A bunch of other things there. So 5% is not a big uplift. This is excluding advertising, just to be clear. This is just from having your products indexed right, the right search terms, etc. 5% up to 10.5%. Conversion rate, doing things to make it clearer, the functional benefits, the emotional benefits, handling concerns in advance, really good images, building the brand so they have trust in the brand, to bump that up to 10.5%. And already here you can see an extra 103 units sold. Then increasing the average price up to 21. If you're a third-party seller, you could just put the price up. Otherwise, it'll be things like a bigger pack size, putting effort and energy into those higher price products, frequently bought together, bundles, buy 3 or buy 4 and save, for example. Bunch of ways to do that. So the maths here is when that compounds up, those 5% improvements equal a 15.76% improvement, and $3,000, even $37,000 for the year. And this is the way to think about growing your sales. What am I doing to improve? Get more traffic, improve the conversion, and get people buying more when they are there. So let's go a little bit more and say it's 10%. And what happens here is 11,000, 11%. Units sold is now 21% up. And then average price up to 22. We now have a 33% increase in sales, or an $80,000 increase over the year, and up to a $26,000 month, $6,000 up. Now, let's have a look at some of that. I mean, that maths alone should get people excited. It gets me excited when I look at that, because I know to get these 10% incremental improvements is not too hard when you have some clarity on what you're doing. There's so many things you could do in your Amazon business. But if you focus on improving each of these areas every day across your catalog, then you will see these kind of improvements. So here's some strategies and tactics to improve each area. I'm not going to read through all of them because that'll take too long. I'll put this into a PDF that you can, and a link below that you can see this. But just to call out a few of the key points here. So the hero shot, if you've got, for any photo on a product, the hero shot is the most important. You might need to consider 3D rendering. What you do, you might have to push the envelope a little bit in terms of the Amazon rules there. You might have some of the product out of the box example to catch the eye. It's got to look different to the competition, but that's where you want to put most of your energy when it comes to images. The others are still really important, but that's really important as well. Actually, I'm just going to maybe draw a couple of lines here as well. So a keyword here, I've got relevant in terms of relevant search terms that you can then put into titles, bullets, descriptions, A+, and in the back end as well. Even simple things like, is your product in the right node? And I was just on a call just now with a guy around cheerleading shoes, and believe it or not, there is a node for cheerleading shoes, but a lot of the competition had it in leisure wear, fashion, and the wrong node, and that's going to suppress sales. So the right category node. Avoiding out of stock. It sounds simple, right? But actually, if you stay in stock, then you're just going to sell more. Just wanted to bring that up because while simple is important, and this cross-promoting idea as well, and whether that's through parent-child, in your image stack, in your A+ content, in the storefront, having a storefront there that'll get people looking at your other products as well. There's a few parts there on the getting more views. And again, this is excluding advertising, which I believe is one of the fastest ways to really drive traffic. And when you've got this next part, conversion rate working well, then you really want to put the traffic in behind it, but that's another video. In terms of the unit session percentage or the conversion rate, often the parent-child variation setup is an important one to do. What we find is, there's pros and cons to this here, and you might want to test it, but if people are choosing between different colors or a different size, it's a much better shopping experience if they can just stay on the listing there without having to go out and go on and maybe find a competitor. So if they can enjoy that with you, then that'll make a big difference. Some other things here, answering objections in advance or concerns or questions that are going inside the mind, and you can do that visually, answering those, or in the text. Really important piece. Videos, every shape or form of videos in terms of how-tos, use generated, brand story, got to have videos in there. It makes a huge difference. People are watching videos, so you're crazy not to have it there. So make sure you do that. If you can, subscribe and save. There's some pros and cons to this. Obviously, as a vendor, different to them being a third-party seller. In Australia, third-party people can't yet get subscribe and save, but they will. But this repeat business here really ups your conversion rate, because every month you get a bunch of people, 100% conversion rate, so that helps there. So there's a few there. And then the average dollar sale, this is one here that people struggle with a bit more. And even like as simple as you've got higher priced products, they just require more effort and energy in the listing to convert. If it's below $20, it's not a risk that the consumer's making. And with Amazon, they can get a free refund. But if it's $100 or even north of $60 is where you're going to have to sell and communicate the value a lot better. So put effort into those higher priced items. Also, simple things like buy 4 units and save 10%, for example, or 15% or 20%. There's coupons for that. And just better communicate the value. And even this quality premium brand, you do your content really well, you can sell at a higher price. That's as simple as that. People cannot smell it, they cannot touch it, they cannot taste it. So you've got to visually communicate all those things, which is like any online sale. You do a good job of that, then people will be prepared to pay that higher price. So there you go. There's a few approaches there for you to consider as you want to grow your sales. This is how you do it. Hopefully you found that useful. Leave any comments, and if it's LinkedIn or YouTube, subscribe, all of that. So thanks very much, and also check out GoSellGlobal.com, and we'd love to have a chat. All the best. Bye for now.